I do believe Chace might be the only celebrity to have admitted that. Let's watch what actor Chace Crawford eats in a day with Men's Health. Chace Crawford will forever be Nate Archibald from Gossip Girl for me. There's every chance I'll refer to him as Nate during this.
Usually after the gym, it's going to be high protein. I can crush eggs. I can do every type of egg you can think of on the stove. So I'll do omelets, anywhere from 3 to 5 eggs scrambled, spinach, fruit. But I do love fruit.
Nate, I'm with you. I'm with Chace here. I love eggs. I may not be doing 5 eggs at a time, but each to their own. In the actual egg, you've got protein, you've got fat, you don't have many carbs, but he does then go on to talk about fruit, which we love to see.
I do crave, bananas and peanut butter and apples and peanut butter. All the berries. I do a lot of the berry stuff.
I personally believe that bananas and peanut butter is better than apples and peanut butter. Controversial.
Order from Air One if I'm lazy, which is ridiculous because it's so insane.
I called it last time. I think we will never get through one of these Hollywood what I eat in a days without somebody talking about Air One. The place that has overpriced ice, baseball caps of $95, and don't get me started on their overpriced smoothies with their sweeping statements about health, wellness, etc. I've done a lot of videos on Air One. But I appreciate that Chace does say that Air One is so insane. And whilst we don't know why Chace refers to Air One in this way, it could be to do with the pricing, it could be to do with how they describe their food, etc., etc. We don't know. But I appreciate that he at least acknowledges how ridiculous Air One is.
I'll usually cook my lunch, just make a bunch of chicken breast, have it, sweet potato, broccoli in the fridge. I think cooking your own food goes a long way into not eating a bunch of crap.
It's funny, I've seen Bobby Parrish talk about this a little bit, this kind of fear-mongering around eating out. So this idea that if you go out for dinner, you're eating a bunch of crap. Eating out can be so much more than that. It can be a celebration, it can be community, it can be socializing, it can be simply pleasure and enjoyment, which are feelings we're allowed to feel around food. So I don't love this kind of poo-pooing of eating out. And speaking from personal experience, there were many times back in the day where I was fearful of eating out. I'd be very proactive about ensuring that I didn't eat the food when we were out. I would either eat beforehand or after. And subsequently, I lost out on a lot of the enjoyment around food because of this fear-mongering. I didn't hang out with friends, or I didn't make memories with my better half. I didn't hang out with family, etc. I missed out on a lot of that. And so, whilst don't get me wrong, Chace is absolutely entitled to his opinion. I'm seeing the demonization of eating out becoming a lot more common. And it just, like with many things, makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
And usually I'll eat a pretty big dinner. I don't know if that's ideal. I don't know if that's best. Some people say light breakfast, big lunch, light dinner. I'm not eating a super big dinner, but I like to make a bigger deal out of dinner.
I think it's very personal how we eat and how we distribute our food. I pretty much eat, I think, the same portions for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I may even do the cardinal sin of having a bigger dinner. Very often we think that there's this golden rule of what we're meant to do. In reality, it's what works best for us. Some people enjoy intermittent fasting. Some people, like myself, need breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, because me, hungry, it's not the one. And I don't put a lot of rules around my food and how I'm eating, and that is just what works best for me. I'd like to debunk this idea that there's a perfect way to eat. It really is just what works best for us.
All the fried crap I'm eating, for the most part, outside of Popeyes. So that's a plug for Popeyes. Sometimes that gets thrown in, yeah.
I don't love that he refers to certain foods as crap. And my reasoning for that is if somebody really loves and enjoys, for example, Popeyes, and they see somebody as influential and have such a celebrity status, such as Nate Archibald, aka Chace Crawford, what that does is that demonizes that food. And that may make somebody think, oh shit, I eat Popeyes. Well, he's told me that Popeyes is crap, and should I also feel like that about a food that I actually really enjoy? And it can have a real effect on how we see food. However, I do caveat that with, I appreciate that he mentioned something like Popeyes. Do you know what I actually really liked about this? Chace's ability to not be particularly strict about it. He just said, I enjoy eggs, I may go to Air One for lunch, and then for dinner I might be having this or that. Like, it wasn't particularly regimented. I don't know if that was intentional. Actually, I was surprised to hear that he didn't refer to cheat meals, because that's something that Men's Health really harper on about. So Men's Health, whilst I don't think you watch my videos, maybe you've just got that feedback from elsewhere, and I appreciate that you didn't mention it. I just don't love that he referred to some foods as crap. Like we've talked about many times, we don't need to label foods in any capacity. However, what I will say is that Chace Crawford does embark on intermittent fasting. He doesn't mention it in this video, but he does mention it in another Men's Health video.
The thing that really works for me if I'm getting back into my training for the boys or something I'm trying to look cut up for, the intermittent fasting thing does work. If you're kind of waiting to eat, and if you're doing any type of exercise in a fasted state, I mean, it doesn't matter, do a hike or a run for even 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you'll start to see results, and you'll start to feel, at least for me, it feels really good to sort of wake up, drink a bunch of water, and get in a little bit of exercise before I eat. That's kind of the only rule if I'm getting back into training.
What I have found personally and with clients, it is really personal preference when it comes to when you're going to eat around training. This idea that fasted exercise is better for you. Well, not necessarily. Speaking personally, I cannot train fasted. I feel weak. I don't lift very strong. I don't train at my best. It's not for me. If it works for Chace Crawford, that's cool. You do you. But these sweeping statements about you getting better results from this, it's a very personal thing, and not everybody is going to have the same so-called results that you've had with your fasted training, Chace. So what I eat in a day in itself, not that bad. The little sprinkle on top there with regards to the intermittent fasting, it's a lot more nuanced than that, and not something that may work or feel good for everyone.